Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have a very pretty plant picture to do today. Now this is from World of Flowers, obviously by Johanna Basford. This is her planner after all. Now as we're coming up to Halloween, I've been doing Halloween videos this month so far. I thought we would make a little sort of Halloween touch on this one as well. Now, if you don't like Halloween, don't worry, it's not going to be massively Halloweeny. It's just going to have a few hints and colours from what I consider personally to be Halloweeny type colours. I just thought it would be a bit more interesting and just gives me a few ideas on what to do really. So we have our background and we have our plant and our butterflies. I'm trying to think through where to start. I think I'm going to start on the flowers actually. So let's, on the main sort of plant, there are flowers further down the page as well. Let's just come in a little, there we go. And I'm thinking if we start with orange flowers, we've got our Halloween base. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I've got my Black Widow pencils, they all seem very apt for Halloween. And I'm just grabbing the oranges that I've got. So we can have a look and see what there is. I have got the Sunset from the Cobra, that's quite a yellowy colour. I've got the Pumpkin from the Black Widow set, and I've got the Burnt Orange from the Scorpion set. If we swatch them, we can see what they're like. This is the Burnt Orange. This is the Pumpkin, I think that's a lot darker, more vibrant, and this is the Sunset, which as I said is a lot more yellowy. That one looks almost a slightly dark peach, that Burnt Orange, compared with that one. I think we'll definitely therefore start with the Pumpkin because that's our most vibrant, and this is, as I say, from the Spider set. And what I'm going to do is use it at the bottom of each petal. So right down here near where it's near to the plant, put it on quite dark and then just reduce it a bit coming towards the tip like that. You can do that on all of them, it's really easy. Slow relaxing work. If you find it difficult to reduce the colour or you don't want to, don't, just block it in. There's no right or wrong way to do it. This is just the way I'm going to do it. I hope everyone's well today, by the way. Yeah, we're coming into that time of year, cold and flu season. My son's had a bit of a freshest flu, as he calls it, but it's been a cold, really. Fortunately, nothing too nasty. My niece's boyfriend's had freshest flu. My husband had a sore throat for a day, but luckily it passed. That was rather good. We do make sure we take our vitamin D, especially this time of year, which helps to protect against colds and flu. Seems to work well for us anyway. But obviously if you're on any other meds, you'll need to check with your pharmacist or GP to make sure you can take it. Fortunately, husband's on a few meds, but none of the rest of us are, so we just take it in a supplement. So we swear that helps us, but we could be completely wrong, might not. We might just have a good immune system, but I don't get flu really, so I'm lucky. I think I've got that from my mum actually. She, I only remember her ever having flu once in my whole life. So that was pretty good. My dad used to get it a lot. He doesn't anymore. He has his flu jab and now he doesn't get it. So that's good. So yeah, another alternative to taking vitamin D, I suppose, is your flu jab. It doesn't protect you against colds though, I don't think. I don't know really. And then we've got this last one. We're just doing the same thing on every one, just easy, gentle colouring. I am wondering about this, because that's got those overlapping bits like the leaves. Have a think about that while I do this one. Yeah, another Monday morning. Seems to come around really quickly. The sun is coming out. I think it's going to be shadowing my book. I will just see if it decides to stay out or not. I've got a bit of a shadow coming across the desk. I may have to just shut the blind. Seems a shame. I used to hear people go, oh, it's such a shame to shut the sun out, and I used to think, what are you on about? But see, I think that looks a bit like that. So I'm going to leave it as green, and I am going to just shut the blind because I can see a bit of shadow coming across here. I have to give it a minute to adjust because the light adjusts and the camera adjusts. There we go. So I've decided that rather than using the burnt orange, which as I said almost looked like a dark peach, I wasn't so keen on that one. I'm going to use the sunset from the Cobra set. Okay, and just finish off each one. Now a little trick, it's nothing too amazing, is I started here so I was neatest here and then ended here so I was messiest here. So when I go back the other way, I'm going to start this end, and hopefully that will sort of undo what I did there and keep it looking quite good. We hope. I'm just going to sharpen this. Where's my... Oh, I tidied up. I've moved my sharpener. It is rare. So this is quite a nice bright colour. You know, it's very pretty. And yeah, I think now we're getting near to Halloween, it's going to feel like Christmas is going to be upon us in a second. I noticed as soon as it became 100 days to Christmas, which if you think about it, in a year where we have 365 days, 100 days is a long time. As soon as I started getting people posting on Facebook 100 days to Christmas, I started getting Christmas adverts. And I'm like, oh, come on, hold off a little bit. I can understand it when places like Hobbycraft advertise their sort of Christmas card making equipment, because if you're making your Christmas cards, this is when you start. My mum's just started doing hers. You know, she usually starts in September. Because if you've got a lot to do, it does take a lot of time. But really, buying Christmas presents, I've seen Graby have been advertising an advent calendar, and so have Colt pens. Now, if you want to set up a business, then this is my business idea. I would absolutely love a colorist's advent calendar. So not pages to colour. There are calendars like that, and they are lovely, and those are great. But what I mean is like every day you open it, and you might get a little pack of pastels, or some nice pencils, some metallic markers, things that don't go through paper, so not alcohol markers, you know, a white pen, maybe a Christmas stamp, a snowflake stamp, or a snowflake stencil, you know, that sort of thing. I would absolutely adore that. I've just been looking on Etsy because I woke up dreaming of advent calendars, as you do, in October. It's actually still September today here, recording this. It's the 30th of September. I'm getting ahead because my work's starting on my house this week. Anyway, so I would love it, you know, open up, you get, one day you might get a Derwent pencil, one day you might get a Faber-Castell. Do you know what I mean? It would be amazing. And I know Arteza do a calendar, and I don't know if we can even buy it here in the UK. They do a countdown one for 12 days, and they do a weekly one. A monthly one, which makes sense because it's so expensive. Doing just a 12-day one or 10-day one, whatever it is a really good idea, so it's a bit cheaper. But it's got paint and paintbrushes, and that same as Graby's has like watercolour paints and papers for your scrapbooking and things. Now, I don't do a million different crafts. I just colour, and I only use pencils, so I'm not interested in all those little things, but I just love the idea opening a little one. And yeah, as I looked on Etsy, they were all similar. They were crafters or for card making and things like that, and I was like, no, that's not what I want. So I guess I have to ask Coloured Pencil Shop if they'll do one or something. Oh, it'd be fabulous having a new pencil each day, or a mini colouring book, imagine. Lovely. Right, now we have our little stamen, or whatever they're called, coming out. Now, I had originally thought maybe a lovely bright yellow might be a really good colour to do for those, but I'm thinking we are trying to do Halloween, so I'm wondering whether a sort of more blood red type colour might just be a little bit more fun, and it wouldn't look out of place with what we're doing. Now, there is a blood red in the Scorpion set, but I have a feeling it is a little bit pinky. We've got blood diamond, we've got deep red, and I think I'm going to go for the deep red. I'm just going to swatch them like I did the oranges. Whoops, that's the deep red. There, it looks a little bit pink to me. That is quite pinky as well. That's the blood diamond. These are the Cobras. In our, what do we have in this? What's this one? That's the ladybug. Not sure about that one either. The watermelon, I'm assuming, is quite pink. Oh, it is. That's a pink, I would say. We have the blood red. So far, that's the best. We also have this darker red. It's a bit too as Bordeaux. What's that? Burgundy. Yeah, that would make sense. And do I have any reds here? No, I've got my skin tones as well. There's no reds. So I think we are going to be doing the blood red, which is quite fun for Halloween. Excuse me. Oh, right. So I need to make sure it's sharp because these are quite thin. And what I'd actually quite like to do is I'm just going to find my brush. Oops. Just going to brush off this a minute. What I'd quite like to do is to draw in these lines on these. So I'm going to fill in the circle. My pencil's just broken. And follow that line. I haven't really thought about what I'm doing for this background yet. It's going to have to be a pastel background because I can't be doing with a pencil. Although it's not a huge area, it's still too big for me for today. I'm just not up for that. Now, I've been experimenting with some Stickles again. Now, I've got Stickles and I haven't used them for ages. I put them away and almost forgot I had them. And then I was doing a Halloween picture of a witch sitting on a moon, and I decided the moon needed to be sparkly, and I suddenly remembered about my Stickles. So I grabbed those out. That was rubbish, wasn't it? I grabbed them out and did the moon, and it was wonderful. And I think, right, now what's put me off Stickles a little bit is how textured they are. So if I had them on the back of this page, it would be really difficult to colour it. Right, now we have our green part to do of our plant. Just going to try and come out a bit. There we go. Basically, I want two greens that are not too, that bluey greens. So I'm just having a little look at what I've got. I've got this. What's that? Is that the opal? I've got something called Venom. Let's swatch them again. I should have brought my swatch chart through. This is Venom, which is absolutely perfect. And I just want something darker. So this is Forest. No, that's too yellowy. What's that? This is Opal. That might work. I'm going to go over here to the... Oh, that's too bright. That's the Toxic Green, I think. And I think this is the Fang Green, but I've sharpened them off, so I don't know which is which. That one's too yellowy. We've got a turquoise here. It might be too bluey. No, that's good. And what's that? No. I know. This one might be good. This is the the everglade. That's like a light phthalo green, isn't it? Right, I'll try those three. So just to clarify, we have the Black Widows, like the original spider set Everglade, and the original a Cobra Venom and a Scorpion turquoise. We've got a bit of a mix there. I'm going to start, the Venom was the darkest, I think. Hang on, what colour was the turquoise? No, the turquoise is the darkest, so we're going to start with that. We're going to go dark to light like we did with our flowers. So I'm going to go around the edge of the stem. I'm going to take that down there. Keep the bottom quite dark. Be shadowy with all that grass around it, I would say. Go do a dark line and then just bring it in a bit so we can blend it into our lighter colour in a while. Haven't thought about how I'm going to do the leaves, so I'm just going to move up to this other sort of stem areas, just up to there, a bit on each side. It's not particularly neat, not too worried, to be honest. Yeah, both my boys start at 9 o'clock on Monday, so very early away, and I had thought that Monday might be my day off, you know. Now what? What I find odd is that leaf has got a line and that one hasn't. Maybe we'll just pretend it has, it's the only one that doesn't. I think I'm going to treat this like it's a stem as well, even though it's not drawn that way, just to make it easier for my head to get around what's going on. I've got a bit there as well. Okay, I'm thinking I'm just going to make the base of the leaves darker and the tips lighter, so I'm going to put down a lot of layers at the base and then just reduce that, put less. And we'll mix in the other colours. I think that's the easiest way to do it here. I'm just going to draw a line and do it dark there and just treat that like I did the rest of the stem. There we go. Yeah, they both have full days on a Monday, so it's busy for them. But I think one has 9 till 12:15 and 1:15 till 4:15. The other one has a sort of 9 till 10, 11 till 12, and then a bit of a gap before something later. But either way, they're out of the house for a long time, so I thought I could make it my day off when I just have a bit of a rest. But we'll see, because I don't really take a day off, you know, because I'm sure you all know what it's like at the weekend. It's not like you've got the weekend off because you're catching up with all those household chores or you're visiting people, and as nice as it is to do that, it isn't restful. I'm just going to ignore all the detailing on every leaf. I'm just going to colour over it. It's not the same as just being at home and having some time on your own and being able to do whatever you like. And Mondays is the only day I get that, because on Tuesdays one boy's home, on Wednesdays they're both home, on Thursdays the other boy's home, and on Fridays they both have a half day. One has the morning and one has the afternoon. There's a bit of time when neither are home, but yeah. So Mondays is the day when I would get lots of free time, but I'm a bit naughty because I often use a day when I have nothing on to catch up with things. I will have to do that this week because, as I said earlier, having work starting, the balcony is basically being replaced on the outside of the house, which is right outside this window, or just very near on this side of the house. So they'll be taking it down, which is going to be quite noisy, and then putting a new one up. I've got no idea how long it's going to take, and I'm going to need to be around for answering questions and things like that. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to be sort of filming videos while they're doing that, and of course I could do it in the evening, but I've usually run out of voice and energy, and I would be hardly talking, I think, because although I sort of talk quietly, etc., I'm still like talking. Now I'm trying to decide which colour to go to next. I think we're going to go to the Venom and just finish off this stem to start with. Put in the, it really is a very similar colour, isn't it? You can barely see that it's a different colour. It's quite interesting. It looks slightly less bluey. I'm still going to leave the tips a bit there so that we can got room for our last colour. Yeah, and of course I'll be having to make them cups of tea and all sorts of things, so I won't be able to be making videos, but I have got lots of exciting ideas for videos. I've got a book to my right to do for later this week, and then although I've just been sent something that I might be doing, so yeah, it's all very exciting, and so that's great. And yeah, all sort of Halloween-y. But I know there are some people who really dislike Halloween, and it's fair because I'm not a big fan, to be honest. But I quite like the idea of doing things in Halloween colours, just to give me an idea of a different colour scheme to do for a change, something a bit different. And it means that people who want a Halloween theme can do it, and those who don't, you could do a different colour. You could have not done the orange, you know, you could do pink, something, but you can if you want, and you can just pretend it's not Halloween influenced if that's how you feel about it, you know. I don't know why, it's just not a thing that I grew up with, so it's not something that excites me, but I know some people get more excited about it than Christmas. Of course, Christmas is what I get excited about, but you know, and I guess it does signal that Christmas is around the corner. I can't believe how many times I've said Christmas in this video already. Can't be that close, can it? Right, it's just, that's a long leaf, isn't it? Right, now we're doing the everglade, and what I'm going to do is just tidy up everything. So I'm going to go over everything, and our darker colours should show through still, and hopefully sort of blend it together a bit. We'll get quite a greeny, bluey effect. Now you could go back over some of this if you feel that it's covering up too much of the dark colour. You might want to put some shadows in where these are overlapping and things like that. I may not worry about any of that today. I might just keep it easy, simple for me, simple for you. I'm still trying to think of what I'm going to do in the background. You could leave it white. There's no problem with leaving backgrounds white. It's I don't have a problem with it. But sometimes a picture tells me it wants a background. Now I sound mad. Like this one is a scene. We've got our ground, you know, so I feel like there'd be some sky. Whereas some pictures don't, they're not a scene, they just, like a mandala, I don't do background on those, you know, it just depends on the picture. Also my mood. Sometimes I don't want to do one, sometimes I do. But I never want to do anything too complex. I used to do a lot of pencil work for backgrounds and things, take forever. And these days I just want to do some. Also the effects that I wanted to get were really difficult, and if I use a pastel, chalk pastel, which I use a lot, I can get the effect that I wanted with pencil, but very, very quickly and neater. So, you know, it's good. I just realised I don't have my pastels in here though. I was using them. When did I use them? Last night? I can't remember. I was doing a witchy picture and used them. Was it a witchy picture or pumpkin? I can't even remember what I was doing. It's a long time ago last night. Been to sleep since then. So we're almost there with this part, and then we can look at the other flowers. Now I'm just going to sharpen this because I can't seem to get into that corner. I'm thinking what colours for the other flowers. Now something I am going to try one day but not here. Black flowers for Halloween? But not today, not for this. It's not going to work. So I'm thinking we might stick with the orange idea. Reds, maybe. Sorry, excuse me shadowing it. I'm just going to get that bit done. There we go. So if you want, you can put some shadows in here and where they overlap and things like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it there. But we're going to deal with this bottom bit. It's coming a little closer. Now the grass, firstly, what colour? Well, I want to stick with my bluey greens. I do have the Irish green, the scorpion set. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Here it is, Irish green scorpion set. I think the name should be at the bottom. I'm going to sharpen it off soon. I have no idea what it is. Or at least have a number at the bottom. There's some pencils, I think it's the Posca, and the number is on there. Sorry, that was a bit blurred, wasn't it? On the very bottom, which I think is a great idea, because it's never going to get sharpened off. But anyway, I think somehow they almost don't seem to think about the fact that you're going to use them up. You know, it's almost like they just think you're going to either throw them away when they get halfway down or just never use them all up or something. I don't really get it. Or maybe the people that design them don't actually use them themselves. I'm sticking my toe out now, doing the little grass pieces. Okay. Now I need some other greens for these. I'm just looking at what I've got. I haven't got a lot else going on. I'll have a think. But we'll do the flowers. So these little bell flowers, maybe we'll use the other orange. Wait, which one? Here it was. The burnt orange. We could use that, couldn't we? So I think I'm just going to fade it towards the base. Now if you don't have all the black widows, you can use any colours, any pencils. I think I'm going to do these in the same colour. I don't know if they should be. I just think they look cute. There we go. Now this one I'm going to use, we've got some slightly lighter tones. We've got, I can't get hold of it. What's that one? We've got a toadstool and we've got a fire. So I'm going to use the toadstool. This is from the original spider set. And do the centres of, we're doing these now. So I want them to be a bit lighter. It's almost a slightly peachy tone. It's tricky knowing that I've got filled those in. I hope I have. And then the flowers themselves are going to go darker. And this is sort of opposite to what we did with the ones at the top. I'm going to use a colour called Fire from the Cobra set. I'm going to try and make it a little darker at the bottom and lighter at the tip and show you. See, it's that red. It's quite a pinky red. I expected it to be orangey, but it'll be fine. And just work through all of them. we have our stems. What should we use? We'll use the Irish green for the grass on its own, so we don't want to use that. I'm thinking I might use the turquoise by itself for this one. So this is from the Scorpion set. I'm not breathing, it's so thin. I don't know what I think is going to happen if I breathe. Now last year in my planner I also did all the October pages in a sort of Halloweeny style. I've got other Halloween style Halloweeny pictures too, and I've got a Halloween playlist. There's not that many, but if you want more Halloween pictures you can go and have a little look. There's plenty of pumpkins, there's sort of witches' hats and magic-y things, and Halloween style pages. It's quite a lot of different things. I'm just going to make it darker under there. It looks like that bit of turned over leaf is creating a shadow. Yes, there's a few different bits and pieces. There aren't loads. There's a Johanna Basford page I did in a Halloween style, plus some elements from her Halloween download. My husband did suggest that I do that again because it's been a long time since I did it, and although that's a good idea, this everglade, I was reluctant, partly because I don't tend to repeat pictures that often if I can help it, but also, and I have plenty to do, but also her download link isn't working anymore for the Halloween Ivy page, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I do have it downloaded myself, but not everyone will, so that could be tricky. Right, we're going to finish this and then we're going to leave it for today, and we're going to come back tomorrow and do the butterflies and the background, partly because I don't have my pastels in here, so I need to stop anyway, but also I think we've done rather a lot today, so I'm going to leave it. There we go. So I shall zoom out so you can see what we've done so far. There we go. Ooh, more. And yeah, so come back tomorrow and we'll work some more on it, but thank you very much for watching today. I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.